that. Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Tolufa Fawura on World of a Parent Live. This is not something we usually do, but today I felt it was something that needed to be done, especially with what I would like to discuss today. So, first of all, I want to thank all the people that have subscribed, the people that follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, especially with what we're doing right now, the charity fundraising, people that have contacted me offline, people that have donated. It's been amazing to see that people actually have a heart like that to help other people. And so I want to say thank you for that. Now, the reason for the discussion that I'm having today is actually to bring more sense into the fundraiser that we are doing, and to kind of um, give an insight to what is going on, what World of a Parent is trying to do. We're all human, and sometimes we function better when we know why we do what. And so I'll tell you what, I didn't quite think about it. I mean, World of a Parent has been in existence first as Parenting Wisely for 7 going on 8 years. And so our group members, followers, they know what we are about, which is to empower parents, to help parents be their best selves while raising godly children, raising emotionally balanced and strong children, and not compromising themselves as human beings, even though they're parents. So we're all about empowering parents, helping parents get on their feet, and whatever we can do. But that is World of a Parent, right? And so we have discussions, we share issues, problems, we encourage other parents based on their own um, experiences, to share, to advise. It's a community of parents that counsel each other. That's World of a Parent. And recently, especially what is going on, we cannot remove ourselves from what is going on right now, which is the pandemic. um, it's not all about it, but that is something that is universal, is worldwide. And because we've always been about parents, in recent times, Carry Me Global Corporation then figure what better time to actually reach out tangibly and lift up people that are down. So Carry Me Global is a not-for-profit organization that, yes, it's still up and coming, but nothing stops us from reaching out. It's for here, it's for now. And so this is what we've started to do. And both of the parents are just coming all out to support. And through Carry Me Global Corporation, we're reaching out to parents. We're fundraising. We're trying to fundraise to support sheltered parents, parents that are in shelters, trying to cater for them through these shelters, whether they be single parents or not single parents, the reason why they are sheltered may be because they're homeless due to their socioeconomic status prior to this, or because of this COVID-19. It's irrelevant. The fact is, they um, they are in need, and we want to be of help. We want to help. So the parents, the category of parents that we are trying to help, are parents in general. Yes, single parents, any form of parents, homeless. Maybe they've lost their jobs. Maybe they're rescued parents, rescued from abuse, rescued from danger. Maybe they're in halfway houses, meaning they've been rescued, they're trying to settle them down, get them a new job, have them begin to be able to support themselves until they get back on their feet and are able to live by themselves and support themselves. Also, of course, those impacted by COVID 19. So these are the parents that we're trying to target. Now, my goal today in this live show is to share with you where this is coming from. Because a question you might have is, why parents? Why not just people in need? And that's a legitimate question. But I tell you what, there are different categories of people, and yes, people choose who, maybe the event closest to their heart. But I assure you, so first and foremost, I might add, I've been a single parent for a long time. But remember, I didn't say this is only about single parents. But I'll tell you two stories. I really wish, you know, I know people are joining right now, but for the benefit of people that are on right now, and when you do rewatch this, I please listen carefully. I have two stories to share. This is actually coming, first of all, coming from me. I was talking to a friend. I can tell you the background story, how I then came to decide about what I'm sharing today. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about the fundraiser going on right now. For people that know World of a Parent on Facebook, you would have seen something, or people might have shared it on your platform that we're trying to fundraise. And I started to talk to my friend, and just these stories came to mind. We have no idea what parents are going through out there, what people are going through, support themselves. Everybody wants to survive. Well, whatever environment you find yourself, the truth is you want to survive, you want to thrive. And so we selfishly want to do that, not maliciously, but selfishly, we want to climb the ladder. But when you're a parent, that changes the dynamics. That is a totally different ball game, because now you're not carrying yourself, you're carrying yourself along with your children. So I'm going to go into the stories real quickly where this is coming from. And this is just two of several. So, and when I say story, I mean I experienced it. I'm the one that spoke, that interacted with these people. So I came in contact with a young woman, a young lady, and I'm talking very recently, actually within the past year. I typically like to chat up when I meet with strangers sometimes. It just depends on the mood. But I like to, kind of make people feel comfortable around me, talking about themselves. So I started the conversation with, oh, were you coming back from work? Or are you going to work? Mind you, this was at night. And she said, coming back from work. And that was how the conversation started. I said, so you're going home? She said, yes. But then I realized that where she was going wasn't home. So I said, why then, at this time of the night, are you going to this location? It was a hotel. And that was what opened the can of worms. And she started to tell me that, yes, the kind of job she does, she cannot afford to go home directly. She has to go, in case she's been followed, she has to go to a place where someone is waiting. She makes sure she shakes whoever. And I started to wonder, you're a young woman, a beautiful young woman. So I asked, do you have family? She said, yes. She has a kid. She was a single parent. And then she proceeded to tell me about her life. She was sent out of her home by her own mother, who was a single parent, because the mother found another man who was going to marry her but did not want children. So the mother sent both her children out of the house. This young lady I was talking about was just about finishing high school. So she went from having one parent, and having a home to no home. She had a boyfriend. She moved in with the boyfriend. The boyfriend ups and says he found a job out of state, moved out of state with her. Mind you, this is a boyfriend. So I think she barely finished her high school and went with the boyfriend. After a couple of, I don't know, months, maybe a year or two, the boyfriend got tired, brought her back in state where she left from, and left her on the side of the road. At which point, she now has a child. So she goes to the mother who didn't want a kid in the first place because she found a man that would take care of her and sent her own children out of the house. And the mother said, okay, I will take your child. So the mother takes the child. This girl was homeless, had nowhere to go, knew no one, no family to take her in. And the only type of help she found was this man who, this might sound crazy to you. The man genuinely was trying to help, actually genuinely helped with the kind of help he had. And that was to tell her that, look, I don't have much, I don't need your money, but do you know people prostitute themselves to make money? And you don't have to belong to a pimp or a house. This sounds like something you will find in the movies. I am talking about someone that I interviewed. And so the guy literally gave her a phone and everything and ways that people can contact her, and built, I don't know on what platform, some kind of personal account where people can contact her. And so her journey began. And what she started to do was to do private prostitution. I don't know how else to call it. Pardon me if it has if it has a better word that people call it. So she started to prostitute herself. Mind you, she already had a daughter who was living with her mother. And she did that till this child was about 7 years old. I'm sorry, if I look like I'm looking, that's because people are asking for the link and whatnot. So pardon me. Again, we're family here, so I'm just going to do this and share the link with people. So anyways, and this was how the journey started. She started prostituting herself. The child was now 7 years old, at which time she thought, okay, she could share accommodation. She could take care of the child. The child was going to school now, and she'll be able to kind of take care of the child. She wanted her child with her. So she started to share accommodation with a guy who she had known, a friend who she had known for a bit. And they lived in the house. Now, like any child, this guy had a PlayStation. The child always wanted to play on the PlayStation, and the guy was very, very particular about his PlayStation. And the guy was always like, no, no, no. So this lady always told her daughter, don't go near his PlayStation. He can share anything, but he doesn't want people near his PlayStation. This fateful day, the lady was in the house with her daughter, needed to go shower. And before she came out of the shower, she didn't know anything happened. This was years later. She didn't know anything happened. But she came out of the shower and found her daughter on PlayStation, on this guy's PlayStation. And she was like, did I not tell you not to ever go on his PlayStation? And she was like, oh, he allowed me. And you will think that was the end of story. Only for down the line, I think about 18 months later, she found out that the roommate had made her daughter perform oral sex on him in exchange for playing on his PlayStation. Now, no, I am not trying to talk about child sexual abuse. That's a topic for another day. But do you see? So it's very easy for us to pick one part of the story and judge. She's prostituting. There are things that you can do. You could go to McDonald's and work. You could be a housekeeper in a hospital. You could be anything. But listen to this story. This was a child in high school that was sent out of the house, came back pregnant with a child, knew no one, had nowhere to go, not even her mother was willing to help. What did you think was going to happen to this person? So before we judge people, she ended up prostituting herself. Well, the best way she knew how, because she was doing the private one. That was the best way she knew how to do. And at the point in time where she thought, okay, I think I'm good enough, I still want to be a parent. I still want to take care of my child. She went ahead and took that child and see what happened to them. Really, can we blame this child or this lady? That's my story number one. Again, I just want to tell you that things are happening out there. This is what brought us to the focus on parents. Not that other people are not worth being helped, but that's what gave birth to us wanting to help parents. That's my story number one. Story number two, I'm almost done. Story number two, there was another woman that I picked up again in the evening. I picked this woman up. It was nighttime, so I didn't see, but I saw that she ran. She was standing with someone and she ran towards my car and I picked her up. But I noticed that it wasn't a good separation. It wasn't a pleasant, okay, see you later kind of separation. It was a more of whatever, go. And she ran. She came, got to my car, and this woman was black and blue. She was bloodied. She had been bitten. I mean, this is not an exaggeration. For privacy reasons, I can't share, but I had to take pictures of this person. I took her pictures. I asked for permission to take her pictures. And the first thing out of my mouth was, I'm going to call the cops. And she went, oh, no, please don't. And I'm wondering, someone just attacked you. Shouldn't you be the one telling me to call the cops? And that was how the story started. So I started to ask, she was not going to tell the truth. And I was wondering, is there something wrong? Did you steal? Why would you be wronged and you won't want to let the cops in? And as I began to ask her, she was weeping. She was crying. She was bloody all over her face, black and blue, swollen. And I said, what happened? She said she was just raped. And I'm wondering, by someone you knew, or, I mean, if this is a rape, then girl, I am calling the cops because now you are in quote unquote my custody, even though you're an adult. And the way she reacted, no. So I decided to calm down, pull back, and I decided to tease the story out of her. What happened? Who did you go there to meet? And she said a friend of hers. She started the story, which wasn't entirely clean, with, well, it was a friend that introduced me to another friend, and the friend was supposed to come pick her up. Now, this is what I gathered, not to drag this story out. I gathered that she also started to do this personal body job, prostitution. However, this was her own story. She was married. She had, I think, 2 or 3 kids. And she decided, and the husband dumped her. And she was living in a more expensive county. So she had, for privacy reasons, I'm not really mentioning identifiers. So she had to move to a lower cost county, albeit not so safe county, so that she'll be able to afford accommodation and keep her children. And she was working. She actually had a job, but she could only work part-time because she needed to be her own child caregiver. So she would take care of the kids, and they were young children. So she would take care of the kids during the day and go out in the evening to go do this job. And so what she did was, oh, again, apparently they have a platform where they can create a profile and people will personally. And so this was how she met this person. And to her, she thought she was being safe. So she had someone come pick her up so she can tell the person somebody's coming to pick her up. So she better be safe and alive for somebody to pick her up. This was her own safety measure. So it turned out that this guy was probably someone who's been to prison or whatever, because apparently he did that to women in a trailer she shared, or rather he shared with his mother. While the mother was there, this violence was taking place. I mean, she told me, but I could see everything she described. He strangled her. I saw the marks on her neck, punched her, bloody nose, blood splatter, cuts and bruises all over her. I saw everything. So my question to her was, okay, this happened. This person has a place that he can be traced to. Why would we not call the cops? And guess what she said? She said, because I don't want to lose my children. I mean, that broke my heart. And immediately I understood what she was talking about. Because now it's going to be determined that the kids are not living in a safe environment, or she doesn't have the means to take care of the kids. And she kept repeating, I am doing this because of my children. I am doing this because of my children. I am doing this because of my children. Not to belabor it, this is where the passion for supporting parents came from. This is just two of many, many parents that I've met, of many stories that I've heard, of, people that have trusted me with their stories. Some I've accidentally find. We can't change the world, but we can change a life. We can help the world, change the world one life at a time, one parent at a time. And I just want us to please think with me. Imagine if we can help a parent, if we can just fill in a little bit of gap that will enable them to be able to do just a little more. The first parent that I told you about, what she really wants to do, her active plan was to go to nursing school. And she was still on that plan. Will she be able to do it? I don't know. It's hard leaving everything and your source of income the way you know, and suddenly, having a home by yourself or whatever, your kid is in school and you want to go back to school and everything. I don't know what's going to happen, but that was her wish. And the second woman, she just wanted to be able to keep her kids. That was the singular most important thing to her. Now, you might say there are other people that they're just looking for a cheap way out. Oh, yeah, why should you do that? Because it's very easy for anyone to judge, but that's not where we stand. Carry Me Global is just trying to reach out and help these parents. Right now, this is one category that I described. There are other people that is unfortunate job situation, somebody who's been out of work for 2 years. We all say it and it sounds like a cliche. Most people are 1 or 2 paychecks from being broke. It's real for families out there. Some people have little kids. One of the shelters that we're communicating with asked for diapers. Diapers. And I mean, what does that spell? Their parents with little children, homeless, they need. Some are lucky enough to have family they live with, but they have to fend for themselves. So World of the Parent is trying to ask for your help, or is asking for your help, I should say, in donating. We know that we can hardly donate material items at this time. What we intend to give, what we've been asked for, so that it's not a wasted effort, for personal hygiene items, toothpaste, toothbrush, sanitary towels, diapers, toilet paper, and things like that, dried foods, canned soups, things that cannot spoil, deodorants, and some grocery gift cards. And this is why we're raising funds. This is not a one and done, but whatever we can get from you and for people you know, your circle of friends, will go a long way in helping parents. Some of them are in halfway houses. They're rescued from abusive situations. I have so many stories to tell because, you know, well, that's maybe for another day. But they're rescued, and some of them are going to be moved out of state. But in the meantime, they have to live. And people like you and I are what the shelters are relying on to help these people. So now I believe that you have a little bit of insight into why we're doing what we do. Some of them, it's this COVID 19 that tipped them over the wall. They are already managing and trying to survive. Some of them that almost getting a job or on the way of getting a job. And all they are saying is, if I can only get a job, then I can get a room and I can build life from there. But right now, we know life as we know it has been paused for a lot of people. This is the work Carry Me Global Corporation is doing, and we are supporting them. You'll be hearing more and more. Yes, it's a young corporation. Yes, um, you know, this is like the beginning of the works, but we will really appreciate your help on social media, on Facebook. If I have your information on WhatsApp, one way or another, the information is being pushed out of donating. When the process of getting a GoFundMe out for donating, we know um, monetary donations is the best way right now because we're trying to keep safe and keep at home. But if you have any way, maybe you have bulk toiletries, maybe you have bulk diapers that you want to give, if you will email us at worldofaparent@gmail.com or Carry Me Global, that's CARRYNE Global, one word, at gmail.com, we can arrange how to pick up these supplies. But we need your help. We really need your support in supporting these parents and their children, by the way, for those that still have young children. There is more coming from Carry Me Global that we would like to do, impact lives, impact our youth, impact our children. One life at a time is what we're trying to do. Again, if you've known World of a Parent, please keep supporting us. This YouTube channel, it all depends on you. We're not discussing with ourselves, we're discussing with you and getting word out. Please subscribe. If you've not already subscribed, spread the word. We're trying to together build lives. And we'll really appreciate your encouragement. Not just the monetary, but your encouragement even on this platform on YouTube. So please subscribe, spread the word. Join World of a Parent group on Facebook. We welcome your comments. People have questions. Some people ask questions offline. We will feature your stories and your questions, and other parents can join in and talk about it. And if you do know a community, right now we are starting off with Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County, and Howard County in Maryland. These are where the shelters are located that we're donating to. But for here and now, this is our starting point. We hope that it's going to get bigger and more lives will be touched. By God's grace, and with your help. So again, website is worldofaparent.com if you want to go through World of a Parent to support Carry Me Global. Worldofaparent.com. Facebook handle is World of a Parent. You can also email us on worldofaparent.com. On YouTube, please subscribe. Again, till we meet again, we'll get through this together, and together we will impact lives and change lives. Thank you so much for joining me for this time. Thank you for watching. Please share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Till we speak again.